This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Hello and welcome to the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV presenting the BSR MX5 Pro Series this Tuesday evening or whatever time zone you are in. We're here at the fantastic Silverstone circuit, new to the iRacing service, and we've got 4 fantastic MX5 races coming up for you today. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me is Tyler Maxon. And Tyler, it is fantastic to be here on the iRacing Esports Network around this fantastic circuit, because certainly I've never done a broadcast around this place, and it's fantastic that iRacing have finally implemented it.
Yeah, definitely an amazing track to be at. Again, welcome to the iRacing Esports Network, and welcome to the new Silverstone. I do absolutely love this layout of the circuit. Not too much of a fan of the old layout, but do love this one, and super excited to get to broadcast around this layout today. We're just waiting on qualifying to finish up here, and then we will bring you through the grid results here for race 1. If you're new to the BSR MX5 Pro Series, the format that we go off of, we do a 4-race format with a random reverse grid for each race. So each one of these drivers is going to have to battle from the back to the front unless they have a terrible night and seem to find themselves into a crash in the races. But we just finished up in qualifying, and the grid is now up on your screen.
Yes, this first race is done by qualifying order, but you're absolutely right. The other 3, all a random reverse grid. Ashley Beard is on pole position out there. Jason Cooper in 2nd. Adam McNally starts in 3rd with Jack Ashton in 4th. Then Steve Baxter rounding out the top 5. Behind that is Jamie Ayres, David Hampson, Niles Carstensen, Charlie Summers, Kip Stevens. And then top of the Amjars, a little bit further behind is Mikey Key. 2nd place is Carl Hardy, and 3rd place in those Amjars is in 18th place overall. Ewan Ursum. The rest of the grid will cycle through for you now. This is the big one, the Grand Prix circuits. It's a 2.5-minute lap time. We got used to this at Bathurst last time, and so shouldn't be too much of an issue for these MX5 cars. But yeah, it's certainly a very big circuit for these guys. It'll be interesting to see if that maybe plays a part with how many laps we do. We've just got a few more drivers to get onto the grid, and then we'll soon be aware. Of course, a very awkward start for quite a few of these drivers near the back of the field. We've got a massive field today, as always, 35 cars, and you can see them just trailing back into the final corner. No such issue for the 2 drivers on the front row of the grid. Ashley Beard, Sight Racing, ahead of Jason Cooper, and just waiting for Rob Graham to get onto the grid, and maybe just one more driver, and then we'll soon be underway here at Silverstone. 15-minute opening race. It's Ashley Beard from the pole position. Lights will be coming on any moment now. Race 1 here at Silverstone. And away we go. Beard gets a very good start ahead of Cooper, trying to cover him off. It's a long run down into turn 1, but it seems as though the top 2 are relatively static. Alan McNally trying to go round the outside of Jason Cooper, but no can do going into the first corner. What's going to happen into this very tight chicane? We could see if he dives down the inside, but the race leader seemingly away. Not nearly 4 wide, just in the background. I think there may have been a small spin. There is a spin, and that could be quite a bit of contact just behind most of the drivers to get through, thankfully. And they had to use the run up there as well, do the second hairpin, and I'll see who got caught up in that one. I think there may be Cooper and Dave Hampson were two guys who made contact.
I believe it was Dave Hampson and Luke Cooper. I did see Luke Cooper completely around, and that's one driver almost over. There's one driver coming across the circuit. We'll get a good camera here inside to find out who that exactly was. I believe that was Andy Maxwell. It's Andy Maxwell not having a good night. Stefan Mirren, James McRitchie, and I believe that is Jaroslav Sebla. So he's really all pent up here, so not the way he wants to start off his night here of racing. Jack Ashton, though, this is your front four. They are really, really close. The two leaders starting to pull away just a little bit. Ashley Beer is just about a 10 over Jason Cooper. Then they got about half a second back to Adam McNally, Jack Ashton, Stephen Baxter. And I believe that goes all the way back to Jamie Ayers and Charlie Summers as well. Yes, it does. So that is now turned from a 2-car battle for the lead now up into a 7-car battle. So that just shows how much the draft is worth here at Silverstone. They got a little bit of a gap behind him for Kip Stevens, who's kind of in no man's land right now, but the top 7 really fighting it out.
Yeah, absolutely. The sun just comes up here at Silverstone. Anyone who's seen low-powered Formula cars around here will know how vital that slipstream effect is, and certainly actually been feeling the full brunt of that now. Actually, you can see the full brunt of that because he's got a queue of cars behind him. Pretty much no change of position behind so far on this opening lap, but Jack Ashton just hangs to defend from Stephen Baxter in the background. Beard will lead after the opening lap, but there's still a long way to go in this one. Steve Heppard, one of the big gainers so far. He's up 12 places, 26th on the grid. Also Rick Cunnan up 12 places. Also Josh Rayfield, those guys are 18th and 20th respectively. So some fantastic starts up there for a few drivers after the couple of collisions we saw. McNally trying to go defensive here against Ashton. But Ashton making that move now. McNally is going to lose another position to Steve Baxter. Got the inside for the next corner. Now it's Baxter on the back. But I think against the Simlad driver of JBS might make the move. But it's such a wide circuit here, Tyler. If you're not doing the attacking, you're super susceptible to the overtaking.
Yeah, definitely super susceptible to getting overtaken by those drivers. If you don't quite can make that move fully stick, then you're going to have a real issue. As Adam McNally down the inside of Stephen Baxter, they get touched, and that is Baxter way off the circuit. He is going to have to go for a little bit of a jump and run through the grass. So Stephen Baxter really losing there on the back foot. He's not going to fall back even to about to where Nick McCarron is. So McCarron will go by, Delmont will go by, so he's had a very bad run of it there.
Yeah, and also a slow down to certainly not help his course. So yeah, awful corner there for Steve Baxter. We'll be thankful that there's not a wall unlike some places, but when you've got a big field like that on the outside of the corner, it's almost just as worse. Beard continues coming under pressure. It seems like Adam McNally has now dropped off that lead battle. 1 second between Ashton and McNally. Great lap this has been for Ashton getting past McNally, really closing in on the 2 out in front. But we saw this same thing at Bathurst, didn't we, Tyler? But it all came down to the last lap. It was all about that positioning going on to the last lap. It seems as though these guys want the lead because you can see Ashley Beard defending right to the inside of the circuit, leaving nothing on the inside whatsoever. It's Stu White in the background as well, but Beard will hang on. Ayres getting ahead of McNally now. In fact, those two are side by side. But it's just constant defense right now for Ashley Beard.
Ashley Beard really having to defend here from Jason Cooper. Jack Ashton is also just sitting there in third. They got a 1.1 second gap back to Adam McNally. So they do have a little bit of a buffer back to Adam McNally and Jamie Ayres and Charlie Summers. Kip Stevens also just on the back of it now, but you can just see how much Beard is having to defend here from Jason Cooper. And Jack Ashton's going to go down the inside of Cooper. He is going to be on the outside here for turn number 2 and down into turn 3. But Ashton will go in with his teammate, possibly Cooper will hold it around the outside. He'll have the inside here for the next corner, and I do think that Jason Cooper is going to be able to keep second place here. But if these guys keep on driving the way they are, they're just going to pull Adam McNally, Jamie Ayers, and Charlie Summers right into this battle.
Yeah, here comes Ashton straight past them. So got the run out of the second hairpin, and you can see that a queue of cars currently chasing down the back straight, the Wellington straight. But somehow Beard has led every minute of this race up to this point, and now that gap was 1.2 seconds, now down to 0.7 of a second between third and fourth place drivers. So absolutely awesome battle. Also Adam Dolman making some good progress in the backhand. He's up to 8th place, closing in on the likes of Summers and Stevens just ahead. Here is Summers. Down the inside of Jamie Ayres, currently already up 3 positions, is Summers. Inside of Pop's corner, and he's much stronger on the brakes there, so he just pulls ahead, trying to stay around the outside there. It says that would have been very ambitious. But even going into Mackers and Beckers, not usually a very long straight down into that corner, but in these MX5s, it's still a great opportunity. I know that Billy Rose having to get past Vic Cullen.
Side by side here, and they're going to make contact. There's a Hefford and Karstensen going to make some contact. Hefford's going to go through the grass, and he will slot out ahead of him, but I'm sure he has a slowdown penalty. Hefford definitely will not be happy with that one. Karstensen gave him absolutely no room, and then tries to punt him out of the way again. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Stewards have a little bit of a look at that one. It's kind of what you expect going through the S's there. Really, really difficult to go to. You can see how much time it's costing Steve Hefford.
Yeah, just a change of lead. Jack Ashton has got ahead into the race lead. Just as we were talking about that one, so got past Ashley Beard. But you don't feel as though that's the end of that battle. Jason Cooper in 3rd position, still Adam McNally in 4th. As now, Cooper looking to go for the inside on Beard. That inside line into the first corner has so far been the better line. But Beard hanging on to it, and now all of a sudden it's Cooper under pressure from McNally. And really having to go defensive into that corner, and all of a sudden the race leader gets a bit of a lead now at the 3 cars behind all fighting.
Yeah, so Jack Ashton starting to pull away with the lead, but we know this BSR MX5 series, you definitely don't pull out with a lead for very, very long. If you do have a lead, it's going to be quickly disintegrated down to nothing, as that's already what they're doing. Jack Ashton, though, but he's got Jason Cooper, down the inside of Ashley Beard. They are going to make a bit of contact, but they will get through there pretty much unscathed.
Ashley Beard would have been wanting to hold back Cooper as long as possible to try to fend off his teammate Jack Ashton, who's in the running for the championship. I'll try to get the standings up for race 2 later on. But no, that's still quite important, of course, for the team championship, as what every single point matters. But they are definitely closing in, as you were saying, back up to race leader. Gap had gone up to about 0.7 of a second, but already down to about half a second going into Cop's corner. And Cooper still defending. Stevens trying to get onto the back of these guys. Stevens was faster than all these drivers on that last lap, and you can just see him a little bit detached from his back.
He's just a bit detached from his Kip Stevens, but you can see these drivers, and I think that's Jamie Ayres over the slowdown. So Jamie Ayres having a slowdown to deal with, and they're already back up. Jason Cooper looking to the outside. He'll go with Ashley Beard, trying around the outside. I don't think he's going to make that one work. He will have the inside, though, down into the next corner, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to pull him out ahead of Jack Ashton. But actually it will, so Cooper gets into the lead. So Jason Cooper leading here in Silverstone.
Fantastic move from him. First time he's been leading this race, the different leader of this race so far. We've had Cooper, Ashton and Beard, and they're all still running in the top 3 places at the moment. Seemingly Jamie Ayres getting caught up in a bit of an instant just behind. I think I've heard a little little bit of contact going into club corner. So he's lost about 2 seconds in comparison to these guys. And you can see he's now the one who's detached. But if they keep on fighting like this, as Cooper defends into every single corner, slipstream effect on here. Honestly, I think about Panorama last week was probably less effective, because around here, you've literally got a couple of corners and then a straight, so it's not like the mountain section at Bathurst where you can pull a gap. It's literally no escape around this place.
Yeah, there's pretty much no escaping anywhere around this place. You have some very fast corners around this place as well, so you lead from fast corners onto long straights. So this draft effect will definitely be more than it would be at Bathurst. I actually haven't run any laps here in the MX5, but I have run some laps in other cars. So I can't say the draft, the length of the straightaways here is just unreal on this track. So the fact that they're also in these very draft-heavy MX5s would definitely show how big the draft is for these drivers. They're not going to have much room to really pull away from anyone else. If you can get away in the corners, then it's really going to be no use, because you're just going to just let that driver behind get that much bigger of a run on you going on to that long range.
So these four, very much the established drivers at the moment. Nick McCann, they're just losing out to Mikey Key. Mikey Key, by the way, the leader of the drivers. We've got side by side Hefford, who's already up 14 places. He's up 15 places now. He's got past Niles Carstensen. He had such an impressive week last time out, and Hefford now one of the biggest gains. Also Rick Cullen up 16 places, just a couple of places behind. You can see how much the field spread is. A little bit of damage there for the driver that Rob Graham is fighting with his own teammate Ben Mears.
It's a pretty big fight there between the teammates. So the teammates starting to go out of here for 21st and 22nd place. Well, let's jump back now to the battle for the lead, as they're going to work their way through 12 minutes to go in this race, and quickly just try to get up the laps here for you. There we go. We're working our way on lap 6. So we're 6 laps in to this race, and we should get, I believe that may have been white flag last time by, so we may get a couple more laps after this one, as you said, but we should be at about 7 or maybe 8 laps as far as racing goes. That is probably what we'll see in the next few races. But Jack Ashton gets by Jason Cooper. Cooper, though, is going to have the outside. He's going to have the better run, and he's got 2 other Excite cars just behind him. Jack Ashton will clear Jason Cooper, and Jason Cooper's pretty much in the worst spot that you want to be in right now, especially at a very draft-heavy track like this. He's got no teammates up here to help him. Jack Ashton, Ashley Beard, and Adam Nally are all Excite iRacing cars, and Jason Cooper is the only Swift Cooper Esports driver up here in the front.
Yeah, definitely a big disadvantage, and that's why he desperately wants to get to the lead. He doesn't want to be in a Jason Cooper sandwich where the Excite racers are the grid, but down the inside, and he takes back the lead. Jason Cooper, fantastic move. Ashton tried to stay around the outside. You know what? That is a really good run for Jack Ashton. Maybe had to run slightly off the circuit to get it done, and now Ashton's going to surely just about get his nose going into Magnus and Beckers, and yes, he does a little bit tight into that corner. As Jason Cooper just drops maybe a car length behind, as long as you're within 0.3 of a second, which he well and truly is going onto the hanger straight. He's going to be in with a chance at the end of the straight. Kip Stevens losing a couple of positions to these guys who were just watching with Baxter and Ayres and Co. As they do go side by side.
Stevens looking there to the inside of Delmont. Delmont looking to the inside of Baxter and Ayres. He won't get it done though. And Stephen Baxter will lead this train. Jamie Ayres will be second in it. Delmont, but Stevens now looking down the inside of Adam Delmont, and I think he may get this move done. He may even get it by Jamie Ayres as well, but actually Delmont should be able to keep the momentum going and hang it around the outside, and Kip Stevens still stays at the rear of that train. The front group is really going at it here. I believe we're heading onto white flag this time by.
Yeah, final lap of the race, side by side for the race lead. Ashton versus Cooper. And pulling ahead is Jack Ashton once again, but Cooper, well, he might have to go for a dive into the hairpin. Just about stays ahead, does Jack Ashton, but there's going to be plenty more opportunities for Cooper to get the move done. He can maybe get it done at Cops Corner. That's where he's been very strong. And also down this Wellington straight, because he's only quarter of a second behind. But once again, Ashton is so strong coming out of that hairpin. He's made 2 overtakes coming out of that second hairpin so far today. Clearly one of his strengths. Baxter right on the tail of Delmont currently. I think we're going to have to go back to the race lead because Cooper is lining this one up. He's got to be careful from Beard as well. You can see Beard trying to get the cut back on these 2 drivers. And if anything, this time maybe Ashton a little bit further ahead of Cooper than he was on the last lap. He might be okay from the attack this time round. But if anything, where have you got to get the move done? Should he wait till club corner, you think, Tyler? Should Jason Cooper?
Yes, and I believe they're having a bit of technical issues right now. So I do have a completely frozen iRacing, which is definitely not what we're trying to get out of this. So we're just going to quickly go away just for 2 seconds here on the iRacing Esports Network. We'll be back momentarily.
Sorry about the technical issues that we've just faced. To add insult to injury, it was quite a good last lap as well. But Jack Ashton won. He beat Jason Cooper by about a tenth of a second, just ahead of Ashley Beard and Adam McNally in 4th. Jamie Ayres was in 5th, Steve Baxter 6th, Alan Delmont in 7th, Kip Stevens in 8th, Nick McKern in 9th, and Michael Key who I believe was the top of the AM drivers as well in 10th position. So we'll be back for race 2. We'll also try to sort out like a reverse grid as well. Of course, races 2, 3, and 4 will all have reverse grids, so we'll sort that out and we'll try to fix the issues that we've been facing for the past few minutes very soon. So thank you for sticking with us, and we'll be back soon on the iRacing Esports Network.
We do actually have a reverse grid here. The reverse grid is rolling, and it is a 45 place reverse grid. So I'll let you go ahead and tell me where that is going to line them up.
Well, that's going to be a full reverse grid. It will mean that Steve Cooley is on the pole position alongside James McRitchie. Stephen Minton will be 3rd, and Carl Hardy will be in 4th position. So we'll be back in about 20 minutes time whilst the new server goes up. And yeah, hopefully you'll join us for race 2 of the BSR MX5 Pro Series.
Coming for a splash. 3, 2, 1, now. All clear, punch it. Great job, you did really well.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Sports Network and the BSR MX5 Pro Series presented by Apex Racing TV. We're here for race 2 of the evening, race 2 out of 4. We had a full reverse grid from the race 1 results, and the race will be getting underway very soon. Apologies for the issues at the end of race 1, but we only missed the last half lap. It was a good half lap, to be fair, but yeah, apologies for those issues. Yeah, shouldn't have any more of them for the rest of the evening. Tyler, race 1 was very entertaining. Super strong slipstream effect out here today, and despite the fact that we've got a full reverse grid, I think we might see a similar type of race this time around.
Yeah, definitely a good opportunity that we will see a similar type of race. This being nighttime, though, it's going to challenge the drivers a bit more than usual. So this is, I think we're a little bit off schedule here tonight. Usually race 4 being in the evening, or in the nighttime, actually. The rest of the races being evening and working our way into it. But we're here in the nighttime, nonetheless, here for race 2. But still, going to be some great action. Yeah, again, I apologize for the crash that we had in race 1. Don't quite know what happened. Just seems that iRacing wanted to crash on me randomly. So again, do apologize for that one. Hopefully won't have any more of those issues the rest of tonight. But let's go ahead now. And we're just waiting on the session to be advanced. Then we will go ahead and get your grid up here for you. Just as Sam said, a full reverse grid heading into race 2 of the evening tonight. Should be another great race. We should see some close action indeed all the way through it.
Yes, absolutely. And we shouldn't be too harsh on iRacing, saying that this is the iRacing Esports network. iRacing is a fantastic product. No, as all things do, maybe a couple of issues, but on the most part, it is a superb game or sim. Either way, yeah, dipping my toe in some hot water there. Anyway, the session has been advanced, and we'll be going through your grid imminently. And on pole position out there is Steve Cooley, finished, I believe, in 38th place in the first race, but on pole position for this one. James McRitchie starts alongside him on the front row of the grid, Stephen Minton in 3rd, and Carl Hardy starts in 4th place. Behind that is Andy Maxwell, Liam Silkson, Benjamin Mears, Rob Graham, Craig Cameron, and Adrian Hendy rounding out the top 10. And then it's Rafe Cullinan, Charles Kellyman, Ewan Ursum, David Ayres, Billy Rose, Luke Cooper, Niles Carstensen, Steve Hefford, Mikey Key, Nick McCarran. Remember, Key, I think, was top of the Amjos that last time out, so he's got a few points to defend. And then it says Kip Stevens and Delmont, Steve Baxter, Jamie Ayres, Adam McNally. That's the top 25. And the rest of the drivers will cycle through for you now. 35 drivers out here today. And remember, race 1 winner, Jack Ashton, starts down in 28th position. We're about to get underway here for race 2 of the evening. A couple of the drivers haven't been able to make it to the grid, including James McRitchie on the front row of the grid. But out in the lead, it's Stephen Cooley. And away we go at Silverstone. Minton then straight up into 2nd position due to the vacant 2nd place spot, and he might even go for the lead here. Going into turn 1, taking a very narrow entry, and that's a superb start for Stephen Minton from 2nd on the grid to the lead, and he gets ahead of Carl Hardy straight away, just behind. Carl Hardy gets up into 2nd place. Cooley already losing a lot of positions. He might even lose another one going into the hairpin. Seems to be a little bit more spread out. Is the pack as almost a spin for Stephen Minton, and it's caused a bit of chaos just behind. Silkstone running wide, and we've got a couple of drivers running using the outside roads, and now we've got a car stopped in the middle of the circuit. There's a bit of contact with some drivers there. I think it was Josh Rayfield potentially spun round in the middle of the track. Nothing that he could do, and we've got a couple more cars as well, very slow on the inside of the track, clearly picking up damage. But out in the lead, it's Minton, Hardy, and Silkstone. Luke Cooper going side by side currently, and having to defend his positions. But out in the lead, actually, Carl Hardy just momentarily taking the lead. So it's all going on in the race for the for first position, as Hardy moves into the lead then for Result Clothing. But can he break that just straight away? Trying to go back down the inside is Stephen Minton, out just as he did at turn 1. And he's come back again. He's had to overtake for the lead a couple of times so far in this race. And we've only been going for a couple of laps. He may have to overtake again, because back through comes Carl Hardy. He'll take the lead once again. And that's what, 4 changes for the lead in the opening probably 2 miles of this race. And yeah, so
So, yeah, Carl Hardy taking the lead, and another few drivers moving up a lot of positions here. Niels Carstensen already up 12 spots of a starting position, and he is going to go for another one. He's going to try it round the outside here of Adrian Hendy in the Year 1 racing car. Obviously, Carstensen in the Swift Cooper Esports car, and he will make up that position now, but he's got to try to hold it going through Stowe. And he's trying to hold it there around the outside, and I think he's going to get it. But Luke Cooper also maybe going down with the inside with him down into Club Corner. And they're just going to make their way through now. They will move up into, that is actually 3rd place there for Niels Carstensen. Luke Cooper is down in 5th. He's had a nice run there. Each one of those drivers made up 14 spots off the starting position. Adam Delmont also on the move here, so he's starting to make up a lot of positions here off the line. You see only 35 drivers making the grid there, but all the drivers running. We're actually at 35 total drivers, so not everyone able to get out and get running off the line here from what we saw in race 1.
yeah, that was disappointing. Well, and then James McRitchie was due to start in 2nd place and was perhaps the favourite for this 2nd race of the evening, but hopefully he'll be back with us later on. So all going on all the way down the field. Still Hardy leading the way. Carstensen up into 3rd position also, because he was really strong in these last couple of weeks. So he's looking in a strong position down the inside. But maybe goes Carstensen down the inside of Silverstone. And Carstensen has made that move. In fact, they're just side by side going through Luffields currently. And in fact, Silverstone just about stays ahead. But here comes Carstensen. We saw a fantastic opportunity to get past through this Woodcott's corner earlier on in the race. And, well, seemingly gets the much better run Carstensen down the inside into Cobb's corner. Easily done. He's up into 2nd place, up 15 places from his start. Quite an extraordinary start for him. And pretty much this entire top 10, no more than a second separating any one of them. As now straight away going for the lead is Niels Carstensen through the inside at Maggots, and he is into the lead. So quick moves there from Niels Carstensen, and the pro driver is well on course for a race win now.
Yeah, and sorry about a little bit of issues here with the paint pack. It seems that the iRacing paints are not seeming to want to work with me here tonight. So do bear with me as I do try to get this paint pack all sorted out here for you. Don't quite know what the issue is. Just minor technical issues that we sometimes do have here behind the scenes. But yeah, Niels Carstensen out into the lead, and he should be able to hopefully keep that lead here for a while. He's up 16 places off his starting, so he has had a pretty good starting couple laps, and now he's just going to work his way on for the next 5 laps of this race.
Yeah, because 7 laps, unlike the 15 minutes we saw initially, 7 laps, which is about 17 minutes, due to the way that the laps turn out around here. As down the inside goes Luke Cooper, almost making that move on Adam Delmont. Carstensen really pulling out a 1-second lead already. Really trying to sprint away from the rest of the field. Just a little bit of side by side, I think, just in the background. As, yeah, still pulling away is the race leader. As Delmont gets up into 2nd position, does he? Yep, nice move there on Carl Hardy. And Delmont himself up 20 places so far for Excite Racing, who, of course, won race 1. And certainly giving themselves a decent chance at the moment.
Definitely giving himself a good chance. Down the inside there, that's Luke Cooper. So Luke Cooper there is going to slot in behind Adam Delmont. And he will get back into, now Luke Cooper up into 3rd spot. So it is the 3 pro drivers taking over the top 3 spots. Carl Hardy back there in the 4th spot. Then Liam Silkston and Stephen Minton, who right now is under the attack here of Adrian Hendy. So he's really under the attack, trying to move up.
Yeah, looks like Hendy's got that one done straight away. Minton falling down the order pretty quickly right now, and he's going to lose another position here to Jack Ashton, who's had an awesome start. 21 places gained for him. Race 1 winner. And is he already going to get past Adrian Hendy here? This would be a very aggressive move for Hendy with that better line. Going super wide in the background there is Minton, so he's just losing place after place. It's a hard place to be when you've got 10 or so drivers trying to get past you. Once one goes, you're offline, and all of a sudden you can be losing 3 or 4 places, and just to keep the car in the straight line can be a victory, as we see 3 wide now down the Hangar Straights. It's Ayres, Hendy, Ashton, and Ayres pulling ahead. Hendy dropping back. Ashton, I think, will have the ideal line right on the inside of the circuit with that Excite Racing drive. But actually, Ayres has got the run out of the corner, up 17 places himself so far into Club Corner. But no, backs out of it. And Ashton sweeps through. He's up into the top 6.
And I do apologize for the white cars that you've been seeing there for a minute, but we have gotten it fixed.
Awesome.
We have gotten the paints fixed, and I believe that everyone has now got the correct paints. So for those of you watching the broadcast, I do apologize for that one again. I don't know why, but iRacing was trying to load paints from other cars, so I just had to keep on reloading it until we got the correct order there. So again, sorry about that. I think that should be the last time that we have paint issues, but technology never seems to like to work in any form. But we seem to have hopefully gotten it fixed for now.
As Adam Delmont goes for the lead here, lap 4 of this race. We're already halfway through. Carstensen has to drop down. Oh, sorry, Delmont has to back out of that one. As Stevens has got back to the pits, by the way, as back down the inside there is Delmont. A little bit of a surprise move, maybe caught Carstensen napping there, left a car's whip on the inside of the circuit, and he didn't need any more than that did Adam Delmont to take the lead of this race. Still side by side, pretty much dead level. In fact, Carstensen just pulling his car ahead, going into Copse Corner, and there's just nowhere there where his car can go. So now we've got a 4th different race leader. It's Adam Delmont in the out in the lead.
Yes, so Adam Delmont. Kip Stevens had some sort of an issue. I think he's actually cut the track there. Yeah, because he is. Yeah, so he is way out in the lead. Just saying, if Kip Stevens was rightfully out in the lead, that would be a very, very impressive lead to have pulled. But yes, Adam Delmont is your effective race leader right now, since for some reason is showing Kip Stevens up in the lead. I think he has cut circuit. So yeah, but Adam Delmont under attack here from Niels Carstensen. Carstensen's going to try the outside now, heading in to Stowe. He's going to try the outside. It's very, very difficult to hang it around the outside through Stowe Corner, but he is going to have now the inside. But no, he'll actually cut across the front end of Delmont. Now that's Cooper down the inside. The other Swift Cooper Esports driver trying to get by Adam Delmont. Adam Delmont having to try to get to defend from both Swift Cooper Esports cars. We know how that is difficult from the first race. Obviously, Jason Cooper having to defend from 2, I believe it was Excite iRacing cars. So now the roles have been flipped here. Niels Carstensen and Adam Delmont, and Luke Cooper, sorry, able to possibly gang up here on Adam Delmont. Cooper down the inside of Delmont. That's a difficult late break move. Delmont's just going to be able to hang it around the outside, and that's going to be an easy crossover for Delmont.
Yeah, and of course, Cooper doesn't care if they lose the job to the race leader, Niels Carstensen. Whilst Cooper would like to lead, I'm sure he'd rather his teammate won than Adam Delmont. But straight away, they're just straight away back onto the race leader. Open up a half-second lead. Straight away, it's gone as Adam Delmont retakes the lead here past Niels Carstensen.
Carstensen, though, is going to have the inside through left field. But Delmont's just going to be able to hang around. Look at the handling of that car. That car looks like it is handling very, very well for Adam Delmont, having absolutely no issues getting that car around any one of these corners. You can see Niels Carstensen trying the inside line, didn't quite work out the way he would have wanted it to, and Adam Delmont was able just to hold it clean around the outside of him. And that is him up into the lead. So Adam Delmont into the lead. Nils Carstensen in second. Luke Cooper in third. And Carl Hardy is actually just back there in fourth place. Don't count him out. He's only 0.8 behind Luke Cooper.
Yeah, and Jack Ashton as well was 2 seconds faster than the front runners on the last lap. So he's going to catch these guys by the end of the race. The question is, can he dispatch all of them in time? He's got, he's got one teammate in there, Adam Delmont, who maybe could hold them all up to get his own teammate back into play. But if Jack Ashton could get another race victory, that would be quite spectacular and be fantastic for him in the championship. Got this battle going on. Cooper and Co. Ursum seems to be a little bit slow. I think that's Ursum on the outside of the circuit. It is. And now Cooper is going to get past. McNally is going to get past. 3 wide going into Stoke Corners. They're all right on the lip of the tyre grip, all sliding through that corner. And pulling ahead out of all of it is Jason Cooper, ahead of Adam McNally, and Ursum drops a couple of places in quick succession. Cooper seems to have dropped back, hasn't he, for some unknown reason. So all of a sudden it's Delmont and Carstensen about a second out in the lead. And this isn't going to help Jack Ashton either, because Ashton still, as Ashton actually gets past Carl Hardy, so he hasn't lost too much time getting that move done. He's got just under 2 laps to get into the race lead.
Yeah, sorry about that one. My mic was just muted there for a split second. But Adam Delmont, though, leading Nils Carstensen. He started to actually pull away here from Carstensen just a little bit. Just now has a 0.7 of a second gap to Carstensen. Luke Cooper about another 0.8 back, and Jack Ashton 0.9 back. Carl Hardy another 0.7 back. So that front group started to extend just a little bit. But you know, the second that we get to the hangar straight, that gap is going to completely close up again.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And just down this straight, you know, this straight, you know, isn't even thought of as a overtaking opportunity in many cars, and yet Carstensen can gain what this gap was 0.6 seconds going onto this straight. It's now down to 0.3. So he gains 0.3 of a second down a mediocrely long straight. And you just imagine how much time he gains down the hangar straight, for example. So all the Wellington straights as well. That's like the first long straight of the track on the new extension. I say new extension, the 10-year-old extension of course. Jason Cooper getting ahead of Liam Silverstone, who's just fallen off the circuit momentarily. Loses a couple of places and is coming under increasing pressure from Ewan Ursum as well. But more importantly, I think, is Jack Ashton getting past Luke Cooper, and he's dealt with 25 cars so far. He just needs to deal with 2 more, and he will take a double victory today. But he's got 1 lap to close in by 1.6 seconds on the 2 race leaders.
Yeah, but right now, Adam Delmont's only leading by 0.3 of a second over Nils Carstensen, and with the pace of Jack Ashton, I'm almost positive that Ashton should be able to close this up. I mean, he was a second faster than they were last lap. If he can do about another second faster, and also possibly have a little bit of help from Luke Cooper, he should be able to close that gap up with just enough time to possibly make a move.
Yeah, how defensive will Delmont be? Will he be ultra defensive, get his teammate into play? Or will he try to be as little defensive as possible, give himself the best chance at the race win? Well, so far he's offline through pretty much every corner, and eking into that gap is Jack Ashton. Gap's now down to 1 second, and he will start feeling the slipstream effect.
Yeah, so Jack Ashton really going to start picking up some slipstream here as he heads down. The gap's still maintaining at a second, though, so Jack Ashton wants to catch this front group. He's got to start closing up that gap with a real quickness, but he's doing it in the corners. Look at that. Closes up 0.2 there. Just that quickly to Nils Carstensen. But Nils Carstensen, he's going to go for the race lead. Adam Delmont and Nils Carstensen, they're going to battle now down the old front straightaway, and they're going to head down into Kopp's corner. It's a very, very fast left-hander, and I think Carstensen's going to have the move done, but that's just going to pull Jack Ashton right into it. Nils Carstensen makes the move, and that is going to put Jack Ashton, yes it does, right into it. Now 0.3 of a second behind that group as they head through Maggots and Beckett's.
Oh, side by side, pulling ahead is Carstensen, but no. Delmont trying to respond. Surely it's going to be Ashton with the best run onto this next straight. Ashton goes down the inside. Side by side now, Ashton and Carstensen. Delmont is half a second ahead. Now, can he break the draft, Delmont? He's not really moving across enough because Ashton is staying in those tracks. Carstensen dips back into the slipstream on his rival. There's only a couple of corners to go. Down the inside, it's almost going to be 3 wide into Stoke Corner. Ever so wide is Adam Delmont, and he almost opened up the race lead there. Surely he's got to stay right to the inside of the circuit. Ashton is closing in. He's going to look to the inside. He's not going to give anything to his rivals here. There's almost contact between all 3 of them, but out in lead, Adam Delmont might just be safe from the chasing pack behind. As spinning round goes Niles Carstensen. He was the race leader, but now the race leader is Adam Delmont, and now the race winner is going to be Adam Delmont across the line. He beats Jack Ashton in a fantastic final lap battle. And, well, in the end, it's an exciting iRacing 1-2 out there with a Swift Cooper Esports 3 and 4. What a terrific final couple of laps that was, Tyler.
Yeah, definitely a great final few laps there. No one really wanted to give anyone any sort of room. But let's just take a moment here. Jack Ashton up 26 places. So he started down in about 27th place, and he moved all the way up to P2. So that's absolutely awesome for him. Able to really move himself up some spots here off his starting position. Adam Delmont as well up 21 spots. Luke Cooper up 13. Jason Cooper up 23. Niels Carstensen still, after finishing in 11th after having that spin, finishes down in 6th place. So he's not had the best of race 2s, but he definitely will be able to bounce back, hopefully be able to benefit there from that reverse grid as we just wait for all the drivers now to come across the line. Just waiting on the lights of Jamie Ayers, Mikey Key, Josh Rayfield, I think it's just crossed the line. Ralph Cullinan crossing the line now. These guys have all had some sort of incident during the race. They all will be reverse grid eligible. Those that are not 1 lap down. The drivers not eligible for the reverse grid will be Benjamin Mias, Stephen Cooley, Charles Kellyman, and Billy Rose. They will all be a lap down, I believe, with Billy Rose and Charles Kellyman being 3 laps down. So we'll see how far down they are. But I do believe they are down some number of laps.
I feel like this is one of the slower battles we're going to see this year. Endy pulling ahead on half Dotzel ahead of Stephen Baxter. I believe the car behind them might even be the race leader, Adam Delmont. It is. I say the race leader, the race winner, Adam Delmont. That's how far behind Endy and Baxter are. And I'm sure, I'm sure Delmont doesn't really want to interfere with that one too much. As just coming through the final corners now is Hendy and Baxter. And then we'll be able to go through your final results. Remember, of course, this car, the Mazda MX5, completely free to use on iRacing. So if you're thinking of, getting iRacing, certainly do, because this is one of the basic cars. You have to pay a dime for it whatsoever, and you can have racing like this. It's absolutely terrific. Unfortunately, you would have to pay for this circuit, but you do get the old Silverstone for free, which is it was a decent circuit in itself. Yeah, anyway, the race results for race 2 of the evening. Adam Delmont wins by 1.5 seconds over Jack Ashton. Ashton won race 1 by 1.5 tenths. Loses race 2 by 1.5 tenths. Luke Cooper was in 3rd position. Jason Cooper in 4th. There's Carl Hardy. Niles Carstensen fighting for the lead all the way to the finish. In the end, a spin dropped him down to 6th. By the way, Hardy in 5th place was winner of the Amjo, so well done to him. Then behind Carstensen in 7th place was Dave Hampson. There's Adam McNally, Nick McKern, and Ewan Ursum. 2nd place out of the club, out of the Amjos, and 10th place overall. Then there's Yaroslav Chebula, Martin Sampson, Ashley Beard, Charlie Summers, Steve Hefford, Craig Cameron, Rob Graham, Max Wright, David Ayres, Andy Maxwell rounding out the top 20, and then behind that is Joe McDonald, Stephen Minton, Jamie Ayres, Mikey Key, James McRitchie, Liam Silkston, Josh Rayfield, Rafe Cullinan, Adrian Hendy, and Stephen Baxter. Those were the drivers who finished on the lead lap. The drivers who retired were Kip Stevens, Billy Rose, Charles Kellyman, Stephen Cooley, and also Ben Mears. Remember, Cooley set up on pole position. Didn't last too long, that one. So, time to find out what the reverse grid is going to be, Tyler.
So the reverse grid now up on your screen. Let's roll that reverse grid wheel here for the second time of the night. And it's going to continue to roll around, and it will be a 40. So we'll have a 40-place reverse grid, which should be a full reverse grid. And I believe, if we can pull the results back up, that will be Stephen Baxter on the pole. Adrian Hendy will be in second, and Ralph Cullinan will finish in third. So we have another pretty much full reverse grid of the drivers that finished on the lead lap. So that is not a that's a great thing for us. We get to see the fast pro drivers and the faster AMs come through the field here again tonight. So that is should be another great race here for race 3. We'll be back in about the next 20 to 30 minutes. So don't go anywhere here on the iRacing Esports Network. We'll be back in just a moment's time.
Looking for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lead to the inside goes Logan Clapton is gonna touch in. Pit press.
saved it!
What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's Howling down to the inside.
He's trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. MX5, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the BSR MX5 Pro Series presented by Apex Racing TV. We're just getting up for race 3 of the evening. On pole position for this race 3 is Steve Baxter. Alongside him is Adrian Hendy. Reid Collins starts in 3rd place with Josh Rayfield in 4th. Then it's Liam Silverstone, James McRitchie, Mikey Key, Jamie Ayres, Stephen Minton, and Joe McDonald rounding out the top 10 drivers. I am Sam Fitzpatrick, and back alongside me is Tyler Maxson as we get underway here for race 3 of the evening. And Baxter gets a very good start for Swift Cooper Esports. He straight away pulls away from the rest of the field. Hendy in 2nd place. Silverstone has already got past Rayfield, and now Rayfield loses a place to McRitchie as well. So not a fantastic start for him as we go into the hairpin for the first time. We've seen a couple of collisions already in this corner. see Jazz going full wide into that corner. We've got a car very, very wide in the back. I think that might be a Rayfield going super deep, and also deep into the second hairpin as well are a few drivers. But they all seem to get through relatively unscathed, 35 miles out there, and Steve Baxter already with a 1 second lead outside in front.
Yeah, that 1 second lead won't be out there for long. Hendy, Cullinan, and McRitchie, they're going to go 3 wide now. Down in to Brooklands, and they will cycle their way through. Now through Littlefield, it will be Cullinan, the leader of your Rams, who will come out on top of that battle. But they're 1.6 seconds to Stephen Baxter, and that's James McRitchie way off the circuit. That's going to give Jamie Ayers a nice opportunity to go by the asymmetric driver. But yeah, Stephen Baxter, 1.7 seconds now over Ralph Cullinan and Adrian Hendy. That gap, though, won't be 1.7 seconds for long. That is going to be quickly disintegrated by those drivers. And Charlie Summers slips down the inside. He's already up 8 spots, up into 9th place. They're all fanning out way further back, and drivers already making up a ton of positions.
Good start for the Cooper brothers, by the way. They started, they finished the last race 3rd and 4th, but nowhere near those positions at the moment. As we've got side by side all the way down the order. Also, actually Beard with an issue as well, dropping down the order. And Jürgen Ursum as well. James McRitchie, I think, getting very bright. So he was running up in 4th position just a few minutes ago, and you can see how many cars there are midway down the hangar straight at the moment. But yeah, just absolutely craziness here. Everyone, just such a small car around such a wide circuit means that these guys so far haven't made too much contact. At least from what I've seen, we've got a couple of spinners in the back. That allows Joshua Field, I think, again getting involved in an instant, as we've got a lot of contact and a bit of a pile-up as well in that. It was always going to happen. Now we've got another spinner and one of the SimLab cars.
Samson involved. Yeah, just as you said, always pretty much going to happen if you're not too careful here. It's pretty much evident that if we get most of the way through the first lap, there's going to be some sort of movement. Well, let's just take a second here. Stephen Baxter has pulled out a 2.8 second lead. Now 2.9, that's 3 seconds now over Ralph Cullinan. Adrian Hendy, though, has now gone in line with Jamie Ayers, so that should help him out just a little bit to be able to possibly catch Cullinan and then start making advancements towards Stephen Baxter. But Stephen Baxter has just checked out now from the rest of the field.
Yeah, this is some start for him. Joe is certainly out of position in the previous race, and that's the advantage of these reverse grids. Gives maybe some guys who don't have a good race opportunity in the next one. Here is Stevens and Cooper. I think his brother also in there. Oh, and Cooper goes really wide, and another big slam there. And that was Delmont, I believe, who he made contact with. So 2 of the drivers who were fighting for race wins earlier on, and they absolutely pounded into one another. And their cars are pretty much wrecked and won't be able to get back out onto circuit with the lack of faster pairs we have in this series.
Yes, really on those 2. Oh, and fast all night, and that is Charlie Summers off into the barrier. Summers is also going to have to get a tow back to the pit lane, I think, or at least use a fast repair, because the engine on that MX5 is now non-existent. So don't quite know how he's moving right now, but he's going to figure it out, hopefully, and hopefully not lose a lap to it, because if he loses a lap, then he is not eligible for the reverse grid. So he definitely needs to try to keep that on the lead lap, or at least 1 lap down. If he goes 2 laps down, he will not be eligible for the reverse grid, so he does have to be very, very careful with that one. So that's somebody else slow on the inside. It's David Ayers. So David Ayers slow on the inside. Jason Cooper, who he's up actually 10 spots from the starting position. And obviously his brother out of the race. But Stephen Baxter now with a 4.7 second advantage. He is dominating here in race 3 of the BSR MX5 Pro Series.
Yeah, we saw similar races to this at Bathurst, but Baxter just in perfect position, pole position, and he's converting that potentially into a race win. Here is Carstensen. He's unlucky not to win last time out, And he's having a nice battle with the likes of McCann and Silverstone as well. McCann losing out there to Carstensen, sorry. So Carstensen now sets his sights on Sebula just ahead. That's Beard going down the inside. He didn't have a good start to the race whatsoever. He gets past Rob Graham and James McRitchie. There is McRitchie and Graham just behind. And Beard now surely going to be a bit of a sitting duck down this next straight. The slipstream effect so strong. You can see just constantly going too wide, bumping each other up. Yeah, Graham just about making that move. I think Cullinan under pressure from Key. This is for the lead out of the AM driver, so very important this. And Cullinan pulling, Key now pulling ahead. Has he got the better line though on the outside, the 69 driver trying to get past the 93 driver. And Cullinan stays ahead for now. They've got Adrian Hendy right on their tail as well.
Yeah, Adrian Hendy really starting to make some moves up. So Adrian Hendy doing a great job there to keep himself moving up the order and maybe even be able to possibly get. He's right now sitting at third. He's got a 2-second advantage over Adam McNally. And I don't think he's able to catch Jamie Ayers. So right now, I'm sure Hendy would like to get by these two AM drivers, but it's not too much dire crucial for him as he does have some drivers quite a bit up the road is who he is fighting. These two right now, though, they are fighting for the lead in the AM class. You can see, though, Hendy not really wanting to get in the middle of it, but he is going to have to start making some moves quickly because Adam McNally is starting to make advancements towards him. So if he wants that, he is going to have to do it quickly. There's another battle. They're almost 3 wide here. Billy Rose was in the middle of that one. Didn't quite catch who the other 2 drivers were. But drivers all over the place here in this midfield battle.
And into the pits goes Craig Hamilton, carrying a bit of damage or maybe getting a penalty for not serving a slowdown penalty. Slowdown penalty, of course, where you cut the circuit and you have to slow down a bit to get back the time that you gained. It's very difficult to commentate on this, of course, because it's just constant action and all these cars just shuffling through. And it's always very difficult to keep an eye on what's happening. Of course, we've got the fast drivers getting past the less fast drivers. Seeing that we just had the reverse grid. Here's Dave Hampson trying to make a move on Ben Mears. We've also got Graham and Maxwell just side by side currently. Also got this battle for the race lead in the drivers. Once again, Cullinan versus Key. Turning into a bit of a repetition. This always come to a climax around this part of the circuit. Once again, Cullinan holds off the experienced drivers, these two. But, last lap, Key got a fantastic launch coming out of Luffields. Pulled ahead by the time he got into Cobb's corner, but couldn't get the move couldn't make the move stick because he was on the outside of the track. This time he closes to within 1/10 of a second. But of course no breaking point into that Cobb's corner in these MX5 cars.
And this is now turned into a 4-car battle. Hendy and McNally, they're going 2 by 2 as they head through Maggots and Beckett's. And that is going to be McNally up now ahead of Hendy. So Hendy's dropping back, and you can see McNally making quick work here of Mikey Key. Key's not going to give him any room whatsoever. McNally onto the grass, and they make contact. And Key's around. Key's into the wall. And that is also Adrian Hendy into the wall as well. So Mikey Key from 2nd place in the AMs. He is out of this race.
Well, that was very avoidable from a few drivers there. Making contact, going through Chapel Corner. And that is a real shame that we're seeing that occur. Means that Adam McNally is up into 4th place. Greg Cullen with a massive advantage now out of the AM drivers. Means that Max right now 8th place overall. He is 2nd in the club drivers. As we've got side by side with what's that? With McCann just ahead of Max Wright. McCann getting past Hendy. So Hendy, of course, the other driver gets involved in that one, and he's dropped a lot of places as well. So really a disastrous couple of corners there for a few of the drivers, Key and Hendy in particular. James McRitchie, good to see him back out there. Was due to start in 2nd place in race 2. Unfortunately couldn't make the start. But it's good that he's back out on circuit currently in 13th place. going for a move. This could be very ambitious, almost contact into the hairpin. Constantly a closing gap. There's such a wide corner that you pretty much go for a dive from wherever far back you are. As Ayres now actually loses a position, this time to a car harder.
So Ayres losing that position. So let's see how the front two are going. Stephen Baxter, 5.7 seconds now. He's leading over Jamie Ayres. Ralph Cullinan is your leader of the M's. He is back in third place. So he's third overall right now, but Adam McNally is closing that gap up quite consistently fast. But keep in mind, they're on lap 5. They don't have too much longer to race here for race 3. We'll have one more reverse grid, and then we'll head into the final race of the evening. And I think that is Max Wright going for a move on Adrian Hendy, and I think he'll get that move done. Hendy's going to try it, though, around the outside through Maggots. He'll have the inside there for the no-name left-hander, and then he will also have the inside for Beckett. So you can see there, but that is Jason Cooper looking for a move. He's going to lose 2 spots because of it. No, McDonald is going to have to slot into second, and that is McDonald and Sebula. So Sebula actually kind of losing a bit of connection there, but Sebula and McDonald going wheel to wheel. And that is also McRitchie and Stevens wheel to wheel. They're 3 wide as they head down the hanger straight and into Stowe Corner.
Also fighting here, the 29 car of Stevens sticks it around the outside. He's going to get 1 car, not 2 there, as we've got side by side just ahead between Hendy and Cooper. Oh, they're going to get through this one. Everyone's going down to the inside of the circuit. I think there was at least a bit of contact. Fortunately, no spin. No, there is a car on its feet. No, it was worse than a spin. It was a vertical spin because we've got someone on their roof, and well, that is not what we wanted to see.
So Joe McDonald goes for a roll here in that MX5. Something that we do see just a bit too often in this BSR MX5 series. The drivers going for a bit of a roll. It is kind of easy to do though in this car. If you do make a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, the car usually just kind of goes up in the air instead of stays planted on the ground. For those of you who don't know, the MX5 is definitely supposed to be wheels down, not roof down. They don't go very fast on the wheels, guys.
Have you ever been on the roof in one of these?
I actually have had the privilege of never being on my roof as Ralph Cullinan, having to defend me from Adam McNally. And McNally is going to have the outside here, Cullinan down the inside. Should be able to just hold on to that move, little Ralph Cullinan. But yeah, back to what we were saying. No, I have never been on my roof in these cars. I have hit the wall in one of these cars, but I've never rolled one of these. I count myself very, very fortunate to not have them.
Of course, Tyler, a real-life MX5 driver. So he's an expert on this series. It's safe to say, and certainly knows how these cars should act. McNally versus Cullinan. McNally this time gets it done. Cullinan fighting this one very hard, and still they're almost side by side. Getting involved is Nars Parsington, who's up 20 positions. Cullinan might regret fighting that one quite as hard as he has done, but it's cost them about 1.5 seconds to the driver behind, and they're still going to fight side by side down the hang straight. You see that's a big battle as well just behind.
These drivers not giving it up. Cullinan wants P3 in this race. Adam McNally, though, he wants 3rd place. And neither of these drivers want to give up the position, but all they're doing right now is just allowing Niels Karstensen into this battle for 3rd place. So I don't quite understand exactly what they're doing. As they continue to battle, and that's Cullinan around. So Cullinan is around. McNally will slot in. That's McCarron, Cooper, and he will get rolling just 2/10 ahead of Max Wright. So this is the battle now for the lead in the AMs. It is Cullinan and Wright now battling in the AMs. Didn't think that I would see this in this race, but that is white flag, and I believe that is going to start the final lap of the race here. So they got one more lap here to fight these 2 AM drivers do. The lead in the pro is pretty much settled here. Stephen Baxter has pretty much got a guaranteed race win now. He's just got to work his way around. Jamie Ayres pretty much guaranteed in 2nd. The battle for 3rd still not over, but this right here is the battle on the racetrack.
Yeah, yeah, quite incredible how Cullinan has maybe put this race win into jeopardy. Because now Max Wright right on his tail, they're both off the circuit pretty much, and now big contact. Ashley Beard, who's recovered so well after a poor start, and he's stranded now in the middle of the circuit. I don't think he caught up anyone else in that one, no, seemingly not, but he falls right to the rear of the pack. Really disappointing that for him. Got this Alan McNay versus Niles Carstensen battle. I think we're going to have to go back to that Viv Cullinan Max Wright battle though, just for a moment, because that's for the lead in the AM drivers. And you can see Cullinan with no slipstream. He's really vulnerable at this point. Stevens, maybe he'll realise, if anyone's going to realise that this is a lead for the AM lead, he's going to realise this. I imagine he's probably going to see an opportunity at a couple of positions. Won't really care what they're fighting over. Down the inside goes Max Wright. Viv Cullinan will hang it round the outside, and a good exit as well. Contact with Stevens. Wright trying to fend off his rival, and Stevens has nowhere to go anywhere across the circuit. Pulling ahead, at least for the moment, is Viv Cullinan, and he's just got to survive the hanger straight one more time, and he should be okay for this AM class victory. But out in the lead, Stephen Baxter. He started on pole position, maybe a little bit out of place with that pole position after the reverse grid. And so we go back to this battle for third position. Carstensen just pulling ahead. Baxter is going to win race 3 here at Silverstone in the BSR MX5 Pro Series. But back to this battle for third position. Carstensen gets ahead of McNally. Is there anything that McNally can do? He tries to hold around the outside, almost completely flipping the car on the curb. There was Niles Carstensen. He's off the circuit. McNally on the inside. Carstensen on the outside. Who's going to have the better run to the line? I think it was Carstensen, just about taking it by a tenth and a half. Cooper will Cooper will lose out to McCann in the end, and that's the rest of the top 10 coming across the line right now.
As we just wait for them all to cross the line, that was just wonderful from those drivers. None of them wanted to give up anything in that race, and I think it ended up hurting them a little bit more than it helped them for pretty much every single one of those drivers. So definitely not too much of what they want to have happen here in this third race of the evening, but they will be able to hopefully benefit there from the reverse grid. You can see Luke Cooper making his way around, and several drivers actually DNF that time. We actually had more drivers that time DNF than any race that we've had so far. So we only have 27 drivers still out there running. Luke Cooper, though, keeps a good job to keep himself on the lead lap. And he won't have any such issues with the reverse grid. He actually will be able to participate in it, which will be coming up here in just a few moments' time after we read through the final race result.
Yes, Cooper got involved in quite a few problems out there. Had a poor start, and also I think had you can see a bit of damage on that car. Slightly slanted, that car, and he may well want a slightly different ride height, but I don't think to that extent. It's safe to say. And whilst he'd like to probably transform that bodywork slightly, the shape of the bodywork, I don't think he'd like to transform it into that way. As he crosses the line, and we can now go through the final results. And Steve Baxter winning out from pole position, 8 seconds ahead of Jamie Ayres. That's pretty much as easy a race when you're going to get in this series. Ahead, yeah, Jamie Ayres in second place. Niles Carstensen, great drive from 25th on the grid. Adam McNally had a great start, just got caught by Carstensen in the end. Nick McKern finished in 5th place with Jason Cooper in 6th. Then behind that was McRitchie, Ralph Cullinan, Max Wright, and Kip Stevens rounding out the top 10. And then behind that is Steve Hefford, Liam Silkston, Adrian Hendy, Carl Hardy, David Hampson, David Ayres, Ewan Ursum, Billy Rose, Charles Kellyman, Andy Maxwell, Ashley Beard, Steve Cooley, Benjamin Mears, Stephen Minson, Craig Cameron, Rob Graham, Luke Cooper, and that is all the drivers who were on the lead lap, and all the drivers who will be eligible for the reverse grid, because 2 laps down were Jaroslav Chebula and Joe McDonald, and then more than 2 laps down were Mikey Key, who of course was fighting for the AM lead for such a long period of the race. Charlie Summers, Jack Ashton, Martin Sampson, Adam Delmont, and Josh Rayfield. So today so far, Tyler, we've had 3 we've had 2 full reverse grids. I wonder if we're going to see a third one for race 4.
Well, we won't know here for very much longer. Let's go ahead and let's roll that grid. Here, let's roll the reverse grid here for the final time this evening. And it will be a 20. So we will get a 20 place reverse grid here. And that is actually going to put Andy Maxwell on the pole. So Andy Maxwell will be on the pole alongside Charles Kellyman and Billy Rose. So it's 3 AMs in the top 3. And yeah, that was a little bit of a different, actually, reverse grid that we've seen all night tonight. Jerome Ursum will be in 4th with David Ayers, rounding out the top 5. And the first pro driver will be Dave Hampson. So Luke Cooper not able to benefit from the reverse grid. He will start down in 27th place. And also those drivers still having issues in that last race will not be able to benefit from the reverse grid here tonight. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in here to the final race into the final commercial break of the evening before the final race tonight. So we should be back in just a few moments' time here on the iRacing Esports Network. Don't go anywhere.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Coming for a splash. 3, 2, 1, now. All clear, punch it. Great job, you did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
pass to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying, there's contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the BSR MX5 Pro Series presented by Apex Racing TV. We're just gearing up for the final race of the evening, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, I mean, if only there were more races today, but because the first three have been absolutely fantastic. On pole position for this final race of the evening is Andy Maxwell with Charles Kellyman in second place. Then it's Billy Rose, Ewan Ursum, and David Ayres rounding out the top 5 drivers. And the rest of the drivers will go through for you now, because we've only got a few more seconds of gridding up. We've so far seen 3 different winners, I believe, and of course it's also a top 5 amateur grid out here, so expect a lot of chopping and changing out of the positions in this 4th race of the evening. Lights are coming on currently. It's Andy Maxwell from the pole position, Charles Kellyman in second position, and away we go at Silverstone. And straight away pulling alongside is Kellyman. Will he have the run going into turn 1? Maxwell has with the better outside line, trying to swoop around his opponent as they all come rushing through turns 1 and 2, heading into the hairpin right now. Kellyman has taken the lead. Maxwell just dropping a little bit behind as Ursum makes up a move. And Rose just about pulling ahead of Maxwell then. So Kellyman moves ahead of Maxwell as well. So plenty of changing in these early stages. A little bit wide for Rose, but he's already got a half a second lead out in front.
Yeah, so he hasn't got as good of a start as your leader from last time out, but he has gotten a pretty good one. Hasn't had too many issues there off the line. So now it's Billy Rose from Charles Kellyman to Andy Maxwell, David Ayres, and Jerome Ursum. It's an all-amateur top 5. With their first pro being Dave Hampson down in 6th place. So he hasn't moved up anything so far off the start. Actually, he will now, no he won't. Actually, he will stay in the 6th place. Driver's moving all the way through the field. Kip Stevens is trying to make up some moves. He also hasn't moved up anything thus far. Let's just work their way now through the old front straightaway. We work our way now, and we get about halfway through the first lap here in Silverstone. We got 7 laps of racing here for race number 4 tonight.
Plenty more action to come. Yeah, very still 1/10 of a second ahead of Kellyman. Maxim just again ahead of Ursum, so Maxim dropping down the auto. So go through Magnus and Beckett's Chapel. For the first time in this race, track conditions have got quite a bit warmer. 18 degrees in the last race. It's up to 29 degrees now. So expect the cars to act slightly differently, a little bit more understeer for these drivers as Rose under big pressure from Kellyman down into Stowe Corner. McRitchie trying to make up the position as well. Hefford's up 5 places now, so he's had a really good last couple of corners. He's up 5 places into 5th position now as we've got a car off the circuit. I think Rafe Cullinan has had a big off on the inside of the track, and he's going to go tumbling down the order now. And there he is, just rejoining the track. Unfortunately, he didn't take anyone else out with him. And the first lap is in the books, and we've still got 6 more to go.
Yes, still 6 more laps to go, but it's a battle now for second. Charles Kellyman holding it round the outside of Dave Hampson. And he will get that move done. Billy Rose still 7/10 out in the lead. I don't know if these drivers are going to let him do what they did the last guy and just let him pull away there, but Kellyman, he will slot himself up into 2nd place. He'll keep himself up in 2nd place, and that is Steve Hefford trying to make a move on, I believe that's Dave Hampson. Yes, he will. He's trying to make a move here on Dave Hampson. So he's trying to make another one up.
Yeah, Hampson just getting the slipstream from Kellyman in the end and allowing him to pull ahead 3 wide just in the back there with Maxwell and Stevens, I believe that was. McRitchie in there as well. A couple of cars driving way off the circuit, but you can kind of see that. Not really much of an advantage gained, it's safe to say. McRitchie then behind Stevens, and Ayres only just on the toe. You can see then a complete queue of cars. I say a queue of cars, it's about 3 queues of cars because it's 3 wide almost all the way down the order, as we saw in the last race as well. Still the race lead ever so close. Kellyman trying to defend from Hampson. And just getting a little bit detached at the moment is McRitchie from Stevens all of a sudden. So he was right on his tail, but now just falling back.
Trading Paints decides that it wants to launch on me in the most random times. But we'll hopefully get these paints all sorted out. Dave Hampson, he goes for a little bit of a slide there, and he's going to lose some momentum. He's way off the pace of Dave Hampson, some sort of issue.
Yeah, he must have just picked up a slowdown or something, or yeah, maybe just a big slide forward. Very unusual. Stevens making some really good progress up. It's up 6 places so far. In 5th place, also Hefford getting up into 2nd position. I think that happened just in the past few seconds. So we'll break down into Blood Corner. And this is a really tough race to call. Race 1 was very close as well, but it was all fast drivers right at the front. Here we've got a little bit of a mix with still about 3 AM drivers up in the top 5 as Maxwell going past. We've got a slow car as well on the inside. I think that's a back marker, in fact, as Maxwell goes up against McRitchie. And Maxwell winning out on that occasion. McRitchie now under pressure from Ayres just behind. Oh, there's big contact there. Maxwell has to run wide, and they're losing each other a lot of time at the moment. McRitchie desperately trying to get that lead back, but now that he's got some damage, it's going to be difficult as Maxwell spins the car. It's a full 180, and he's going to drop, what, 20-odd positions right now.
Yeah, and that just shows how close these drivers are. He has just a little tiny spin like that. It's just going to drop you straight on down the order, so you pretty much can't make a mistake in this. You've got to have a perfect about 15 minutes in this race. There are 4 15-minute races, so you pretty much have to be perfect for just that little 15 minutes, and then you can start having any sort of issues that you like, as you're not racing anymore. As somebody's off there in the background, that is McRitchie. So McRitchie will park it up in the old pit lane, and he is out of the race.
Somehow leading pretty much this entire race is Billy Rose. He started in 3rd place, got the lead in the opening few corners, and despite being under intense pressure, he's hung on for it for this entire race so far. Kellyman in 2nd place. So Stevens, is he going to go up into 3rd place very soon? Sorry, 2nd place very soon. He's currently in 3rd place. Ursum almost making contact with Ayres right there. I think we're going to have to go back to the lead battle, to be honest, because ever so close between Rose and Kellyman, potentially under pressure. We could see 3 wide here going into Stoke Corner. Stevens in the middle, Rose on the inside, Kellyman on the outside. And Rose, stallion defence at the moment, giving his rivals nothing to take advantage of.
You're giving them absolutely nothing indeed. Billy Rose doing a great job here to hang on out in the lead right now. Charles Kellyman sitting in 2nd. He started in 2nd place. Kip Stevens is up 8 spots to be in 3rd in the top pro driver. So Kip Stevens, he hasn't had the best of nights tonight at all. So he definitely will have to be having a little bit better night here for the final race of the so they all cycle their way through the first few corners of this track. Such great track this is. A lot of really nice, fast-speeding corners. So glad that we got this one on iRacing. Been really, really looking forward to it. But whenever it did come out, I can't say that I was not really, really happy about it. As somebody there goes off in the background, and I believe that was Dave Hampson. He had a big slide there in the background, and somebody else is off as well. Can't quite see who that was. That's Adrian Hendy. He spun off in the middle of the track there, but let's jump back here to your lead battle. It is Stevens on Rose. Stevens looking down to the inside now. Rose has to go a little bit wide to give him the space, but Stevens is going to just try and feed around the outside. I don't think that that's going to work out for him, but Stevens now is going to try to make it work down the inside. So Stevens does a nice little switchback move on Billy Rose. So Stevens going to try to make that work as they head down the old front straightaway.
Yeah, Stevens then back into the lead. And yeah, that was a really nice move. Just really patient there. Knew where his position was. He's probably the most experienced driver out here in these types of touring cars. So absolutely knew how to execute that overtake. What's space range go around this circuit as well, admitting the old layout, but still, many corners are similar. Well, a bit of contact just ahead. That's a lot of contact. In fact, the Swift Cooper esports driver round, that was number 50, I believe. I think it was Carstensen who was at the core of all of that, but it also involved several other cars.
Yes, I do believe they're correct on that one. I believe it was Carstensen who was in that one as well. I couldn't quite actually get you an entirely off the drivers involved, but there were quite a few of them. The lead battle starting to extend here. Stevens has gotten by Kellyman. Kellyman, the leader of your AMs right now. Second is Billy Rose, who's all the way down in 7th place. There's a bunch of pros. Here's Adamik now. He's going to go for a spin. And so, too, is Charlie Summers. So Summers is also going to go for a quick spin. Summers sent you on the racing line, and that's someone else around. That's also going to be Ayers and Rose coming together as well. And Rose is now going to go to the inside of the track. Nearly takes out. I believe that was Jack Ashton and a few others. So everything just seeming to go off right now.
Well, what a crazy couple of corners that was. Pile up down the pit straight, and then crash in turn 1 as well. Just do not know where to look in this race. Still means that Stevens is in the lead. Kellyman second. Hefford's gone up into 3rd place. He might have a chance at the race win here. Could Steve Hefford. 10th on the grid. There he is, pretty much by himself at this point in the race, but not for much longer as he closes in on the driver ahead. Got a big battle currently going on between Delmont, Ayres, the other Ayres, Ashton, Hardy, Beard, and also Wright. And 7 of them separated by probably about 4 seconds. You can see just them in the background going through Woodcut. Yeah, midway through lap 5. Still got 2.5 more laps to go in this evening of racing. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Thanks for tuning in. Certainly, if you haven't enjoyed this broadcast, do leave a like on this video. Also, subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network. Some fantastic championships, including the World Championship Series, of course, which are always fantastic to watch. And also, if you wouldn't mind, please check out Apex Racing TV, our own channel. We've got plenty of other races like this on there. Side by side between Ayres and Delmont's currently. Delmont having to defend to the inside. Also got Ashton trying to make his way up. We're already at 24 positions up after 4 race 3. But he's having to be shoved out currently by David Ayres. Jamie Ayres gets ahead of Adam Delmont by the way, and that's very confusing. It's annoying that those are near each other on circuits.
Definitely makes it a little bit more difficult for me and yourself as well. Anyone basically having to commentate. It makes it very difficult whenever you have 2 brothers on the circuit just between, also with Jason Cooper as well as so anyone with the same last name makes it very, very difficult to commentate on. But the battle is still not cooling off anytime soon. Adam Delmont just barely ahead of Jamie Ayres, Jack Ashton, David Ayres, Ash Beard, and I believe that's Carl Hardy there just in the background. As you can see, they're all really, really going for it here. Kip Stevens, though, he started to pull away a little bit here over Charles Kellyman and Stephen Baxter. Steve Hefford is in the 4th spot. Adam Delmont, this is for 5th place now, so this right here is your battle for 5th place, and Hefford is not too far ahead of this battle either.
Oh, round. And there's going to be a couple of other drivers involved. Ashton gets through. Beard gets involved in that one. Also Ayres as well. Delmont was really at the centre of that one, started it all. And so you see another kind of mini pile-up there where one driver gets spun and kind of ends up in the middle of the circuit. We've seen that so often today. And you can see a bit of damage now on Ashton's car. Gives some hope for Carl Hardy, 2nd place Hardy, and just Cameron with a lot of damage there. Cannot be helping his straight line speed one bit. That's a lot of curb there on the inside for Carl Hardy, I think that was. And he actually drops 1 position behind. Sorry, that was Max Wright picking up going back second. He lost the position to Carl Hunt.
Yes, so yes, actually, Max Wright is going to slot into third place in the AMs. Jason Cooper right now, he, though, is chasing down Steve Everett. I wonder if, actually, there's 4 seconds between him and Jack Ashton. So Jack Ashton, 4 seconds back from Steve Everett. So I was going to say, I wonder if Cooper would just work with Ashton to try to catch Heifer, but I don't believe that they will be able to do so, even if they were to work together. So Jason Cooper, though, is definitely going to try to get up into the lead, and he does so. So Jason Cooper up into the lead of that train. He's in the 4th overall right now in the AMs, 5th overall. Max Wright is in 3rd. Ash Beard, Jerome Ursum, Carl Hardy. So Hardy's had a little bit of issues, obviously. He's been rear-ended a few times, as you can see there by the damage on the rear bonnet of that car. Kip Stevens, though, leads by just 0.3 of a second over Charles Kellyman and Steven Baxter. He's coming into this race now, is Baxter. So Baxter in the other Swift Cooper Esports car, he's moving up and is closing in on that front train. He may actually have a chance at getting by Kip Stevens here on the final lap of the race.
This would be some comeback from Steven Baxter. Starts in 20th position for this race. But you wouldn't guess it. Right now, he's only 0.8 of a second off the race lead. On that last lap, he closed in by over 1 second on the race leaders. As for the final time, they go down the Wellington Straight for the evening. Where it's, Stevens going to be able to hang on to this one. Cayman has gradually got himself closer and closer over the last couple of laps. Ashton versus Cooper still going on. You can see them, circulate this entire long upfield corner. Really appreciates this camera angle. But certainly going back to this lead battle, because this is impossible to call at this stage, Tyler.
Yeah, almost impossible to call a winner at this stage. Kip Stevens doing a great job to lead, but he's got Charles Kellyman, who's actually really, really fast tonight. He's just as fast as Kip Stevens, being that he is an AM driver. They also got Steven Baxter right there. So you know, if any of these guys make a move that's a little bit questionable, Baxter will be there to make up the pieces there. But Jack Ashton and Luke, Jason Cooper actually, are also really, really close. Let's keep an eye on both of those battles. But this is the battle on the racetrack that we're going to keep an eye on right now. This is the battle for the lead.
Yes, it's Stevens, Kellyman, Baxter. Any chance here for Kellyman? He's going to look to the inside. The amateur driver is going to try to go for an overall race victory. He's down the inside of Kip Stevens. Just a couple more corners to go. A bit of a slide. Has that compromised his exit? He seems to have the ideal line. Is there anything that Stevens can do with just a couple of corners to go? He looks to the outside. He's going to have to muscle his way around here. But Kellyman has positioned his car perfectly for this entire lap. And he is going to approach the line here at Silverstone, and he is going to win race 4 of the BSR MX5 Pro Series. And what a brilliant drive that was from the amateur driver. He wins in the amateur standards, he wins in the overall, and he fully deserved that one from starting on the front row of the grid. Just crossing line is the rest of the drivers now. But that was some final lap, and Charles Kellyman absolutely nailed that one time.
Yeah, just absolutely nailing that race there was Kelly. But obviously, super great job to him winning overalls. Definitely a very, very difficult feat, and he had 2 very, very fast pro drivers behind him, so he's definitely should be proud of that one. Had some great pace all night tonight, and as you said, starting on the pole, so we just wait for the final few drivers to sort themselves through here for the final race of the evening.
Yeah, of course. No use being on the well. You still need to score points to do that. You still want to finish on the lead couple of laps. Charles Kellyman, he is delighted with that, and certainly I've been to Silverstone. Didn't check out their donuts at Silverstone, I must confess, but I imagine they're very good, but not as sweet as the ones that Charles Kellyman is currently performing, because he has won race 4 of the evening ahead of Kip Stevens, 0.3 of a second between the 2 of them in the end. Steve Baxter was very close in 3rd, with Steve Hefford in 4th. There's Jason Cooper, Jack Ashton, Max Wright, Ashley Beard, Jamie Ayres, and Ewan Ursum rounding out the top 10 drivers. Behind that was Craig Cameron, Carl Hardy, Adam McNally, Yaroslav Chebula, Michael Key, Niles Carstensen, Rob Graham, David Ayres, Adrian Hendy, and Liam Silkston, rounding out the top 20. And then behind that was Steve Cooley, Luke Cooper, David Hampson, Carl Yacolet, Joe McDonald, and Nick McKern. Those were the drivers who finished on the lead lap. 1 lap down were Benjamin Mears, Rafe Cullinan, and Billy Rose. And then more than 1 lap down, the retirees effectively, Adam Delmont, Martin Sampson, Charlie Summers, Andy Maxwell, Josh Rayfield, James McRitchie, and Stephen Minton as well. Was 5 laps down. And well, this is usually the point where we have an interview with 1 or 2 of the drivers, and we're going to have an interview with Billy Rose. Billy, how's your day today? I forgive me. There's been so much action. I've slightly forgotten your results, but just jog my memory and take us through how your day went.
Yeah, it was, I mean, race 1 went well. Started 22nd, I believe it was, on the grid. Finished 14th, and actually came on the podium for the AMS. So was really happy with that. Second race just got unlucky. Actually had a really good start. I know this track very well. It's probably it's got to be my favourite track out of any. And I'm so glad they've added it to iRacing finally, the new layout. So felt confident, and yeah, just got a good start in second race and got involved. I think there was somebody had spun in the middle of the track, and I just it was kind of one of the moments where all the cars start kind of splitting off, and all of a sudden you just see the car there. So it was a bit too late for me, and ended up breaking the front suspension, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, no. And then third race, I think I finished 18th, but started from 32nd. So it's a nice little gain. There, I'm not quite sure where I finished in AM, but I think it wasn't too bad. And then in the last race, I'm sure you guys saw I was leading the race for 4 laps, I think it was, and then annoyingly got to slow down at the end of the last lap, the 4th lap, sorry. And then there was that big incident down the straights and got contacted by Jamie Ayres, I think it was. So unlucky, and then from then it just kind of went downhill. So sort of went from 0 to 0 in the last race. But yeah, no, tonight was nice, positive, felt quick. So yeah, and got some good points on the board. So can't complain too much.
Definitely, the scoring points in every single round always got to be of great importance.
Exactly.
You mentioned how you like this. So have you ever done any iRacing around this track, and how do you think it suited these MX5s?
I think the reason it suited the MX so well was purely, I think, it's the fact that it's quite a wide track, which allows for kind of it's the thin tracks in the MX5s is difficult. You're always going to end up getting kind of some quite big incidences. And the good thing about this track is it's very wide. And also, I was talking to the guys in the team that you've got the runoffs, there's a lot of tarmac, there's a lot of grass. So even when you do have a bit of an incident, that you can either avoid it quite easily, like I did in a couple of the races by going off wide, or if you even indeed spin yourself, you're very unlikely to put it in the wall. But as a track, it's very good. It's very fast flowing, which suits the MX very well. Kind of the slipstream was quite a main thing down the straights. I'm sure you saw the gain you got down the straights was crazy. So it was a bit of a shame really, because I was hoping, because I got passed into lap 4 and I was trying to stay on the back of him through the I think it's Mackett's and Beckett's, going down to the next straight. I was going to try and go for the pass again back into first. I just got unlucky really. It was just a bit of a shame by getting the slowdown. I was getting a good run on him as well, so I was hoping to go for the pass back. But yeah, no, it's positive, and I'm looking forward to, hopefully, because like I say, this new layout of Silverstone's only just been added to iRacing, so kind of looking forward to trying some other cars on this track, maybe like the Formula 2.0s and maybe try the Formula 3s, things like that. I think it'd be quite an exciting track for those, or GT cars, in fact, as well. Quite fond of the GT, so yeah, I think this track has a lot of potential, and glad that they finally added it to iRacing.
Yeah, definitely. Next week, we head to Indianapolis, the moto circuit. I personally almost vomited just reading that out. But how do you like that circuit?
I think I've had a couple of races there. It's not too bad. Like I say, I haven't got a huge amount of experience at that track. So normally when I don't have experience going into the track, I normally just kind of try and go into it positive thinking, kind of thinking, well, normally it's kind of the first couple of races for me. Always is a little bit of a learn. I do practice, but I always find that going into those first couple of races, you learn quite a lot, and you kind of learn the pace and the flow of the track. Especially when you've got everybody on the grid there. So it's normally the third and fourth race on the track that I'm not too fond with. I find to start to find my speed, and normally first and second race I just try to kind of get basically just get the car to the end, get the points, try and get some good points, and also get yourself in a good position for reverse grid, because that's always can really boost you. Like tonight, I started third on the fourth race, so it's things like that. You just gotta kind of sometimes it's not about trying to win the race from lap one. It's just trying to make sure through, because you have 4 races in a night, you might as well just try and rack in as much points as possible. So yeah, but looking forward to. I'm always looking forward to every Tuesday and always go into it positive thinking. So yeah, excited for next week as always.
Absolutely. Well done out there today, Billy, and it's been
Thank you.
great to talk to you. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
It'd mostly just be the sponsors, GTA Omega, and all the other sponsors on the cars. They're the guys who allow us with the budgets and allow it to happen. Also got to thank Northern Lights Racing for bringing me to the team and allowing me to race in the MX5s. They're the guys who make it happen. They're the guys who allow me to be here, presenting them. So yeah, just got to thank those and all the guys in the team who also do a great job. Craig and Josh and Alex, who are the teammates. So got a great team with us and very supportive. So yeah, that's and thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast. You always do a brilliant job and always quality to watch. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for talking to us, Billy, and we'll
That's
see you
right.
next week.
Definitely. Take it easy, guys.
Well, next up, we will have Adam McKnight. Would you like to take this one, Tyler?
I will actually let you have it just
Awesome.
because I am trying to figure out exactly what layout we're going to next week. I know it is the Moto layout, but I want to know whether it's the new or the old one. So I'm just doing a bit of
Okay.
research on that.
Well, in the meantime, I'll have a chat with Adam McNally, and Adam, possibly your first time round this circuit. How did you think the Silverstone track was for this series?
I had some great racing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I would have liked to have done the national layout because it's a bit shorter for the MX5, but the track worked great. Some great battles all the way through the night. I feel a bit devastated with that incident with Charlie in the last race. I mean, just touched the curb a little bit, got a tiny tap from behind, and just touched his rear a little bit, and we both went round, and that was it. End of the race, really.
Yeah, we saw quite a few incidents out there today. It seemed as though around those hairpins in particular, everyone kind of just all ended up in the same place on the circuit. Would you agree that today it was quite difficult to avoid the collisions?
Yeah, I found it was quite understeery. I mean, even like I said, if you're on the inside, it was so hard to keep it on the inside. But like I said, I didn't really have many incidents. Had a few door bangs, but like I said, just got it for that last one. Devastated that ended Charlie's race.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we head to Indianapolis, the Moto layout. We think. Have you done?
Been there before? And I
I'm
think
not sure.
it was a great track. It made for some awesome racing. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it should be a proper good fun race.
Awesome. Well, we certainly look forward to that one. Before we let you go, Adam, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just give a quick shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast, to all my team for taking part. Congratulations on the 2 wins. To all the guys who do all the hard work behind the scenes. Then to our main sponsors, Excite Energy. We've got Motorsport Days Live, the Prio Premature Baby Foundation, Racer Mentor, LuxSim 24, and ESG UK. And that's it, thanks.
Thank you very much, Adam, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you very much.
So I think that concludes our interviews there with Adam McNally. But Tyler, a fantastic day today. I think of all the races I've done in the MX5, I think this was possibly the best. It wasn't a case of maybe Bathurst where you were kind of waiting for a big incident. I did say how there are a few spins out there, but the drivers did a really good job at trying to minimize those incidents. And in the end, we saw a fantastic slipstreaming day of racing.
Yeah, we really, really did. And I have done some research. It is the old layout of the bikes that we are going to. Still, I will have to say, an absolutely amazing layout. We should have a lot of drafting. just like tonight here in Silverstone. Some absolutely amazing racing again. I am really, really excited for it. As much as I do love the new layout, the old layout still does have a special place in my heart. Absolutely awesome layout to go racing at. So make sure that you are here next week for that one. So definitely not one that you want to be missing at all.
Yes, definitely. Of course, we'll be back next week on the iRacing Esports Network for the BSR MX5 Pro Series. I would like to go through a list of all the events that the iRacing Esports Network are going to be broadcasting. I don't know many off the top of my head. All I know is that there's some very good ones. So, of course, dirt racing, iRacing are very good at oval racing, road racing. Of course, that involves, of course, single seaters and touring cars and prototypes, GT cars, absolutely everything on the iRacing Esports Network. So certainly do, subscribe to the channel and also, of course, turn notifications on because I'm sure there'll be something that will really, really make you entertained on this channel. And also, there'll be plenty to make you entertained on Apex Racing TV, our home channel. We'd certainly appreciate it if you gave that a check out. We've got plenty of other touring car series. Also got the iRacing Le Mans series as well, broadcasting on a Friday night there as well. But for now, from me and also from Tyler, we'll say goodbye and we'll see you next time.